What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. As you can see in the title, today's video is my World Rugby team of 2017. My top 15 players that played, and my word, what I've learned from picking this team is that we have a number of good players all over the world. You decide on one player and you think, oh jeepers, what about this one, what about that one, and all that stuff. It's really been a tough task, but it's been exciting, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. As usual, whatever you think or your team, let me know in the comments down below, with also if you agree or disagree. And to everyone, please forgive me if I pronounce the names wrong. I am only human, and unfortunately not from the Pacific country if the names are longer. So let's get to it. Player number 1. Right, as you can see, I picked Marco van Lopola. Forgive me, he's an England and Lions player. Definite pick for my number 1. So yeah, he's played well. He played for England, played for the Lions. Definite candidate for my team. Number 2 is Malcolm Marx. This guy played his heart out. He had a great year for the Springboks, great year, played to top, and probably one of the best hookers, or going to be one of the best hookers the game's ever seen, definitely from a South African point of view. So definite, I'm going with Malcolm Marx as my number 2. Then we go to good old Ireland. Number 3 is okay, I'm not going to say his first name, but Furlong. Forgive me again to the Irish fans if I got it wrong. Also played for obviously Ireland, and he played for the Lions last year. Great exposure, as we all know. The Lions did well against the All Blacks, so definite pick for me for number 3. Right, now we go to Evan Etzebeth as my number 4. As you can see in the image, Evan had a tough year, but he also played his heart out. He had a big role last year of having to have the captaincy on his shoulders, but I think he handled it well. Maybe a few hiccups here and there, but for me, as a player as a whole, I think he's deserving of the position. I know a lot of people might disagree with this one, but personally, yes, South African bias maybe, but I believe Evan deserves a position in the World 15. Again, my opinion on that one. Now, as you can see, number 5. A lot of you are going to go, why number 5? He normally plays number 4. But my team, I'm the coach in this one, so I've put Bro Retallick as number 5. Phenomenal player, couldn't leave him out. Even him and Etzebeth could have swapped and played around with that position. But he's just a player. I know he was injured a few times, but he's just a player that you just can't leave out. Talented, all-round player, just phenomenal, and a big New Zealander that's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. Right, as you can see, my number 6 is Hamish Watson from Scotland, and he also played the Lions. As I said before, big year for the Lions. Scotland, on the other hand, also had a big year, giving these teams a run for their money, and I definitely think they're going to be a big dark horse in the Six Nations, so I had to go with Hamish Watson on this one for number 6. Number 7, Michael Hooper, Australia's great. He's a phenomenal player. I know a lot of people might give me flack for that. Why pick an Australian? There are other players out there who could have selected. But for me personally, this guy is a tough player. He's a tough boy. He's got a lot of pressure on him. Australia had a tough year, but they were on the rise. So personally, I think kudos to him for keeping it firm, keeping his team together. He's a good leader in the team. He's a good player and inspiration to the young generation. And for me, I had to put Michael Hooper in on this one. So for me personally, a no-brainer on that one. Right, so number 8 is also a no-brainer to probably nearly everyone. Kieran Reid is an outstanding leader, an outstanding player, an outstanding All Black, an outstanding gentleman, and that's fact to it, off the field as well. Humble, brutal, if I could say that correctly. Great player, great leader, and I would make him my captain of the World 15. Top notch. You're crazy if you don't pick Kieran Reid as your number 8 for that one, but we're all entitled to our opinions. Right, so now we go to the scrum half. Now this was a tough one. This one for me was Aaron Smith or Conor Murray. Both phenomenal scrum halves, both highly talented, experienced. Conor Murray had a great year, and as you can see in the image, running past little Aaron Smith over there. It's just from a Lions point of view. I went with Conor Murray as well, because the Lions did well. He was a good influence in the team. And then we go to Ireland. Ireland are an upcoming growing team. They are doing well. They're also on fire at the moment. So for me, it was a no-brainer. Aaron Smith, it was 60-40. It was a tough one, or 45-50. But for me, Conor Murray deserves it, just from the year he had last year, opposed to Aaron Smith's year. A better game. All entitled, but Conor Murray's my scrum half. Then we get to the fly-off, Beauden Barrett. A lot of people, I think, would agree on this one and select Beauden Barrett as their fly-off. I was in between, to be honest. I was going Johnny Sexton or Beauden Barrett. Reason being is Beauden, phenomenal rugby player, skills, has everything for him. But I was worried at the beginning of the year his kicking was not great. His place kicking, he was missing points, and if he had kicked them over, I think we definitely could have seen maybe a different result within the Lions game. So personally, that was my go for. But then I looked at how he's just grown and developed and learned from his mistakes that he made, and he's a phenomenal player. You can't look past him. He is the best player in the world at the moment, and again, a talented player, but it was close for Johnny Sexton. But I just think Beauden Barrett is a good choice, and you just can't miss him. Right, now we go to another New Zealander, Riccio Leone. Forgive me again if I got his name right. Also, great player, playing for New Zealand. New Zealand had a good-ish year, well, they had a great year. They were undefeated. No, they weren't, sorry. Lions, apologies, but they had a good year, dominant in the Rugby Championship. Yes, they lost to Australia and all that stuff, but the November Internationals, undefeated. But this player is a force to be reckoned with, scoring tries, left, right and centre, and he's just a brute force. So for me, definite pick for my number 11. Number 12. This also was a tough one, but I have reasoning behind him. As you can see in the image, Owen Farrell. Owen Farrell is a phenomenal player for England. He is a genius with the ball. He can run, he can dodge, he can do everything. He's a good player and is a great force for England. The reason why I said it was a tough one, I really rate highly Kurtley Beale. I think he's a phenomenal player. Definite force to be reckoned with, and as an older player, I think he's just getting better and better. I don't see that man breaking down at this stage. He's probably going to get to the World Cup next year, but yeah, I went with Owen Farrell just from point of view, if I'm thinking as a coach, I want a backup kicker, and Barrett is such a good player, but his kicking is here and there, some days good, some days bad, whereas Owen, on the other hand, is a great kicker. And to have two great kickers and two great rugby players, I think that just brings so much strength to the team. So Owen Farrell is in my team, number 12. Alright, again, player who normally plays number 12, I've put him in as number 13 in my team. Jonathan Davies, great player. As you can see in that tackle. To be honest with you, I was also tossing up between maybe bringing Sonny Ball Williams in at number 12 and all that stuff. Senior position's a tough one to choose because there's such great players. But Jonathan Davies, outstanding player. Plays for Wales, plays so well, plays for Lions. I mean, you can't not miss him. He's had a cracking year for both teams, and it's just, you just can't miss him. Lions, to have played so well against New Zealand, for me, you can't miss the man out, and that tackle for me says quite a bit. Big fan of Sonny Ball Williams, but got to go with Jonathan Davies on this one. Right, number 14, as you can see, I've gone with George North from Wales and Lions. Another phenomenal player. No injuries here and there, but good player, represented the teams. Wales, if they just didn't have so many injuries, they got some good players on paper and have the potential. So for me personally, I had to go with old George. Again, and other players within the world can play in this position, but I had to go with George North. He is my number 14. Right, so as you can see, my final player, number 15, is Israel Folau. I know he didn't play in November, he took a sabbatical, but this guy is a machine. He is one of the top fullbacks in the world today. Now don't get me wrong, Stuart Hogg is brilliant, and I know a lot of people have selected him, but personally, if I have to look at Folau as a player, he's all there for Australia. He gives it his all. He's fighting. He's determined. He's scoring tries. As you can see in that photo against New Zealand, he was a major impact in that win against the All Blacks. And for me, it was a no-brainer. I think I could get a lot of flack from the fact that I didn't prick Stuart Hogg, but Folau is my player, number 15. I think he's outstanding, and that's my team, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was exciting to do, a bit of ums and ahs. I'm sure you're going to have questions, playing a few players, swapping positions kind of thing, but man alive, what a world team we could play. If we could play this world team against the New Zealand team, minus those 4 players that I've picked there, or who knows what could happen. I think that world team could give the All Blacks a bit of a smashing, but you never know. Without Kieran Reid, I don't know. But it really was an exciting video to make. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with all future uploads. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Six Nations preview coming up very soon. And again, if you guys want me to do other sporting videos, particularly cricket, please answer the poll that's above and just say yes or no, and I'll get to it if you guys want it. Stay safe, guys. Never give up. Cheers.